The first guest is Scott Martin. He is the owner of Meineke Car Care Centers. Scott, thank you for being with us tonight on Restoring Hope.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Let's start by telling people about Meineke. You guys just opened a 9th car care center. Tell us about your organization for those that have not used your services.
Yeah, so Meineke Car Care Center is a national brand that's been around since the 70s. Started off as muffler shops. You might have remembered the name Meineke Discount Muffler.
Yeah.
Back in about the late 90s, they changed the name officially to Car Care Center, expanding our services. What they found is guys that were doing mufflers in the early 90s started to do brakes and shocks and struts just because they were under the car. Customers were asking. They officially made the pivot, I think, right at 2000, 2001. And I got involved in 2007 running a shop for a friend of mine with the intention of purchasing one day. And fast forward a couple years, I bought my first shop in 2010. Right away, his brother said, "Hey, I got a couple shops, you want to buy them?" And as he's been retiring, I've taken over some of his, and then here we are sitting at 9 locations this October. So that's how I got there.
That's pretty incredible growth. You must do great work. It's still kind of top to bottom on the car. What can people expect there at Meineke in terms of services?
Sure, about half of our transactions are oil change, and then probably volume dollar-wise is about 30% brake work, and then down through exhaust and shock struts, like I said, alignments. We do tires. We can do some heavy-duty engine repair. That really just depends on the talents of the individuals in each location.
Through the pandemic, has the need for car care gone up? Like, so many things are skewed. Some things are through the roof. Some things have bottomed out. Where have you seen your business over the last 18 months or so?
Everything's just on steroids.
Yeah.
So basically, middle of March of 20, the government said, "Don't drive." Well, if you know anything about car repair, if cars aren't being driven, they don't need work.
Right.
So we went about 6 weeks of pretty scary times of just wondering what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I drove around to every shop every day, just spreading calm, said it's going to be fine, we'll be fine. Sure enough, June rolls around, and people that hadn't been in their car for 3 months got in their car for the first time. And while they'd ignored a noise that they'd heard every week for a year, all of a sudden it's an issue because they weren't driving, now they're driving, they hear it. So we got slammed in June, and it's really not slowed up. So we've had a really, really successful run since post of the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know what the right phrase for that is, but post everybody being sick of being in their house, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody had to get back outside, and that means get in the car.
Yeah, and our like I said, our business is a factor of miles driven. Now we see people taking vacations. Last summer was no flying to Destin, but maybe driving to Michigan.
Wow.
Increase of miles driven. It's been really good for the business.
That makes sense. Scott, let's talk about how you help your employees. Because to be completely honest and transparent here, a car care center on paper is not the place that I would initially think of as a place that's truly caring for, investing into their employees. But you do that. Why do you do it, and how do you do it?
The why is because back when I was just a single shop guy, I had to get creative with some benefit packages. So once a year, we take everyone down to Holiday World. We do a Christmas party. That started at, my dad would make a ham, my wife would make some sausage balls, and we'd have people over to our basement.
Okay.
We'd do goofy gift exchange. So kind of in the spirit of getting creative with some of those types of benefits. Now, I'm a pretty full business. We offer health, we offer 401k, we offer all that stuff. But in the meantime, I've got this spirit and this culture of what can I do that doesn't cost the business a ton of money, but it can be extremely helpful and needed. And it's fair for everybody. So I found in the beginning of 2019, we had about 6 or 7 of my staff come to me with either financial issues, marriage issues, or depression and anxiety, maybe some suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
I got maybe, back to back to back. And I said, you know what? When they come to me with financial issues, I'm equipped for that. I went through the Dave Ramsey program in 2007. I got myself out of debt. I got myself on the right track for financial peace. So I've been able to walk a bunch of my staff through that. I'm not equipped for the other things at all. I'm compassionate and caring, and I'll listen and I'll talk, but I just don't have the skill set. So I brought it up in my Truth at Work group, which Truth at Work is just a local organization that helps to bring God into the marketplace. And we were talking one morning. One of my friends says, "Hey, I got this contact at Crosswinds. I think maybe you should reach out to her." And I did, and I couldn't be happier. So we put a little bit of money on retainer. I told all my staff, I walked around, I drove around all my shops, and I handed out brochures. I said, "This is going to be great for you guys." Fast forward a year, guess how many people capitalized on that?
I'm scared to guess. I want to say zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
So I met with a couple of the folks at Crosswinds and said, how can we get this involved? So we got a little creative. We said, there's a negative stigma a little bit. My staff needs it. They're not engaging. Yeah. How can we push that through? So 2 things. We came up with about 8 different items, whether it was family-oriented, suicide, depression, financial. I said, Scott's good at this, but if you want to talk to someone else, that's fine. But we came up with a couple positives: goal setting, family framework, to use a Northview term. What can we say that's good? So if you don't maybe have something bad in your life, but you still want to engage, here's some options. And then I said $50 to Lowe's gift card, a Lowe's gift card of $50 to anybody that engages with Crosswinds. And we broke the seal.
Wow.
So there's some engagement now, and it's been really cool. So.
That is just tremendous. So what have you seen since you broke the seal, to use your phrase, and people have started to use the services? Have you seen healthier employees, a healthier culture?
100%. Unfortunately, one of the young men that's been with me did go through a divorce and had personally thanked me for that service, to say, hey, it was hard for me, but I was able to go through it. And then he actually took his daughter as well. So they could kind of go through it together. I've had some other guys that haven't shared as much, but I know through the grapevine that they've been thankful that the service is there. It is anonymous. I don't know who they are unless they tell me.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of an interesting dichotomy there. It's like, hey, if you want the $50 gift card, I got to know. But I've had guys. One guy said, you know what? I wanted to engage with them, so I said, maybe help me quit smoking. And I said, great. How was it? He's like, they've given me great tools to quit smoking. And I go, and are you? He goes, well, no, I still smoke a pack a day. I was like, all right. So it gives me an opportunity to bring it up. So it's like,
baby steps.
Hey, yeah,
baby steps.
But he's engaged, and then they talk about it with each other, which may lower that stigma for someone else to engage.
Wow.
So.
Scott, I suspect that your faith is a big part of the reason you invest back into your people the way that you do. But for other owners, for other CEOs, executive directors, for other bosses out there, what would you say to them as a reason to partner with Crosswinds Counseling, as a reason to invest into their people this way?
It's a big question.
Yeah.
I think, I can't remember. You could probably look up the quote, but it's like, people don't care about what you know until they know you care.
Right.
People aren't going to get up out of their bed every morning and come to work for someone who doesn't show that they care. So I think a big part of our employee loyalty to my 9 locations at this point is because there are mornings where they don't want to come to work, but they know without a doubt that I'm there for them. So is my general manager, my director of operations. We're in it, and we're with them, and we're shoulder to shoulder on tough days. And I think that's kind of one part of how we show that we are that. So.
Scott, that is awesome. Thank you so much for investing into people that way, and thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Restoring Hope. It's great to meet you.
Yeah,
thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
All right, Scott Martin from Meineke Car Care Centers. We'll be right back.